LootBet, online esports betting. Dota, CSGO, Overwatch, Hearthstone, and many more. Bet on tournament matches or in-game events while viewing them live. Deposit using money, bitcoins, or even skins. Join LootBet now. Use the code you see here when you deposit and grab your bonus.
Don't know how to build a team from scratch or find good teammates? DreamTeam.gg, the ultimate team building platform. Find and connect with new players, coaches and teams. Manage and monetize your team. Get on fast track to advance from novice to amateur and, if desired, to professional gamer. Join DreamTeam.gg today.
A dominant start for Mousesports on their pick of Mirage, but now we move to G2's choice of Inferno. Their chance for retribution, but you've got to say there's still a question mark on this map.
Yeah. I mean, I would say it's a bigger chance of Mousesports picking this up than there is G2 picking up Mirage, at least with what the kind of showcase we had. Obviously, we've seen very different iterations, I guess, of G2, or different versions of G2 kind of showing up on Mirage. Sometimes they just play very free flow and have no issues actually getting onto bomb sites. That was definitely not the case versus Mousesports in the first map. So yeah, no, that doesn't necessarily leave you with a good aftertaste kind of after seeing that match if you're a G2 fan.
No, not at all. But I mean, like we said, you know, this isn't over. And if it goes to 3 maps, I think G2 will take this. You know, Cobblestone is time and time again a map proven to be a hassle for Mousesports. So yeah. G2 can sit confidently knowing that, okay, guys, let's just, you know, forget about that first map, move on, get on with Inferno, take this, and realistically, we should win the series. But of course, there's always that wild card for both these teams of inconsistencies.
Definitely is, but yep, should have a much closer game going into Inferno. We've already seen Mousesports play it once. They played it versus SK yesterday. That went pretty well for them, obviously. Nothing really to you know, fault them for. I think especially the combination of Robs and Sticko over on that A bomb side did exceptionally well for themselves. Nothing really to pinpoint there as an error, but as you can see, you know, there's definitely more success to be found for G2 on this Inferno map. Even though you mentioned, you know, sample size isn't necessarily as big as Mouse's is, and that's obviously because they didn't qualify for all the tournaments towards the tail end of the year. But, you know, win over Astralis, Liquid, and Flash. I guess Flash would be the asterisk there. Not too bad.
Yeah, no, for sure, right? I still feel like, you know, G2 are going to have their game plan coming into this. When we looked at Mirage, their T-side really was lackluster. We didn't see many executes. Their mid-control was kind of off. Obviously, when you have Oscar just hitting everything with the AWP, 22 and 5, I think he was, you know, you're not going to have an easy chance taking mid when he's in window. But, G2 definitely lackluster in terms of execution, in terms of their T-side buy rounds. I say buy rounds, they had a limited amount. Obviously, mousesports did a great job of maintaining the economy in G2. They had early game forces as to be expected, which kind of put them in a bit of an awkward spot where they're 4-0 down, getting rifles in, some resets, a bit unlucky in that sense, which certainly limited their utility availability, I guess you could say. Yeah. But coming into this one, they're going to be more prepared. They're going to know their strats, they're going to know their executes, and they're going to be far more confident than Mirage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, versus Astralis yesterday, we saw a really solid T-side from G2, 12 rounds in their favor in that first half, and that is obviously, if they can replicate something like that, then it should be a pretty easy win, honestly. But I think they're going to meet a bit more resistance. Obviously, we've talked about how Astralis, with the new lineup, don't necessarily have had the time to perfect every single map in the map pool, which should be a given. There's only so much you can do in a limited amount of time. But yeah, I'm still going to side with G2 and expecting to see a third map coming up as well.
And on the talk of rosters as well, mousesports, one of those teams alongside G2 that now have one of the more long-standing rosters than some of these other teams. Obviously, the pre and post-major shuffle. Yeah, it doesn't feel like that though. Obviously, the last 3 have been kind of the rise for mousesports. In terms of ECS and I guess maybe even longer than that actually in terms of Mykonos as well. But yeah, G2 obviously up and down. We've seen top wins from them, and we've also seen some very low lows. So it's hard to say, but yeah, definitely 2 more long-standing rosters than some of the other teams that are in this event that have obviously been making a lot of roster changes. You look to teams like Heroic, obviously SK brought in Bolts and have had the whole issue with the major and the roster locks. Liquid have been changing players up at least. I mean, Renegades, pretty much everyone in this event has a fresh roster to some extent, apart from 2 of these teams and a couple more.
Yeah, so FaZe didn't make any roster changes.
Cloud9
obviously didn't make any roster changes. But yeah, no, it's been a turbulent offseason for a lot of these sides, and I think that's obviously going to strengthen teams like G2 and mousesports. Not necessarily going to help out in this series because they're at an equal footing there, but obviously going further into the tournament.
Yeah, one thing I would say as well is when we have a lot of new rosters, it's harder for it's easier for upsets to occur, right? So with best of ones, that's definitely a factor. But it's nice to see that we have a best of 3 group here at the I-League finals because that means you're going to get more consistent results.
Yeah, exactly. And it normalizes
things. Make more sense. Because I feel like if we had these best of ones, not only would we be seeing Tyloo and MVP get way more upsets, look how close some of these games have been. They've taken victories as well. At least Tyloo have, MVP have taken very close games.
They've taken maps off of VP.
Double overtime versus VP in the third map. That's enough. And obviously, we've got 10 rounds versus SK, still without a doubt the best team in the world. That's a pretty good result for MVP, and obviously Tyloo almost took down Heroic on Inferno earlier. Yeah. It wasn't too bad on that second map, but yeah, I mean, we've had close games and some wins from the Asians. I think in best of 1 format, we'd have a lot more.
Yeah, and in a weird way, obviously underdogs would prefer to play best of ones because it gives them the best chance of winning, but I think in the case of these Asian teams who don't necessarily get to have too much matching versus the top international teams, really, they probably relish at this opportunity to be able to not necessarily go 0-2 in groups and then being done for the entire tournament. At this, worst case scenario, they get to play 6 maps. That's if they lose 0-2 in 3 straight maps.
And that's way more than a best of 1, a group stage with a best of 1 and a best of 3 elimination, for example, where you get to play you can play a minimum of 3 maps and be gone for the tournament. And it sucks to fly all the way from China, for example, come here in Ukraine and then be eliminated after a couple of games.
Go home before the jet lag is...
Yeah, exactly, before you're even on the right sleep schedule. And maybe booking your flights early, but no, it is good to see. Hopefully we're going to have some stronger performances as well coming up from MVP later. They'll be playing Hellraisers as well, so a team that's just brought their full roster finally. Issa has made it into the country. We obviously had HS stand in. They went 0-2 as a result. Obviously HS a great player in his own right, but when you're not playing with your standard roster right before an event with no practice as HS and your second best player as well on the team, Issa, that definitely holds you back. So now Horrors, they're going to be at least coming in full fighting form and should be able to take out MVP later, but again, MVP always that wild card.
Yeah, no, we've seen a much more positive side of MVP than we did expect going into this, so I'm hoping they can put up a good fight versus Hellraisers, but I do think that is a pretty important distinction to make, the fact that they have been able to get Issa into the lineup for this elimination game. So we'll see how that pans out. But first, obviously, we have to get through this series. And G2 and mousesports getting ready to duke it out on Inferno. First off, gonna have that knife round to decide what side both teams are starting at.
Pretty important for G2 as well. Obviously, they got the suboptimal choice of actually kicking things off on their T side in the previous map. I would say, you know, obviously G2 a great T-sided team, but didn't really work out, giving mousesports a chance to just get aggressive on that CT side and bring the fight however they wanted, which is exactly how they controlled that map. And mousesports going to get that choice again. I imagine CT especially on Inferno.
We'll see, and maybe, you know, G2 not too phased about that, considering their T side versus Astralis. Yeah. They might just be happy with it. Honestly, I'm actually. If it was down to me, I would probably lean more towards starting on the T side. There's something to be said for setting the pace, but I also think Inferno is, and if not already, it will lean towards being a T-sided map, as it is right now. Yeah.
What, just in the general meta or in this in this matchup? Sorry.
No, in this meta, as a map in general, really, and that's because it's a bit tougher for CTs to be able to necessarily fight for control as much as it was with the old versions. They don't necessarily have the luxury of being able to put 5 smokes down on the B entrance and basically just negate that bomb site entirely. Choke points in mid. Mid has obviously been opened up a little bit, that kind of thing. So I think there's more room for the Ts to play with. Apps is a little bit wonky. It's been harder for CTs to play aggressive in. And obviously all of those factors do help out the T side.
Went to the pistol round anyway, and Chris J is the first line of defense on Banana, although he's got a couple of teammates to help him out. Sunny's going to hit that shot, not Chris, but now mousesports have to defend this A-bomb site because G2 have rallied back. Oscar going down straight away, and a response from Rops hiding in the graveyard. He's going to send Apex to one himself, looking for more. 3 shots from Rops, 3 kills. 4th misses, but maybe he can follow up. He does. Rops, that is ridiculous.
That is just so quick as well, that second shot. Unreal.
Look at Stiko's face. He has no idea what just went on. Just saw the kill feed
what
light
just happened?
Okay, Robs. Okay.
Yeah, Kenny definitely realized what happened. He's not happy about it. And would leave you a bit dejected.
Yeah. Wow, I don't even know what to say. That's really not a good start for G2. But I was going to elaborate on your point about, you know, this becoming a more T-sided map. And I feel like, yeah, definitely, as teams start to learn maps, they become more T-sided over time, right? Let's look old school. Let's look Cobble. When that first got introduced back in CSGO, it was CT-sided at the start. Eventually became more T-sided as it goes on. And the same with Cash as well. That's now a T-sided map, where originally I'd say it was a 60-40. Inferno, you know, one of the latest additions, I'd definitely say that that could also join in the ranks.
Nuke before the changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, obviously, like, changes to the map will also change things up in terms of what kind of sides are favored. But for right now, mousesports just going through stages as they have to deal with this eco from G2. Only Apex left, but surprising amount of damage being done here from the side of G2. And, well, Apex setting sights on that A-bomb site, and he has the bomb as well, so this is going to be free bomb plant.
And Mouse don't seem to realize it. I think Stiko's finally worked it out, but Rops is still at the back of B. Open bomb plant. And Apex, that's a good idea. He's planted, essentially, that's a library plant, typically.
Yeah.
But he's going for the pit. So if he doesn't face on that first fight, they may expect him to be in library, especially considering they're wrapping up through mid, not CT.
Yeah.
If they came through the CT spawn, they would have a bit of an idea, but mousesports, they could be completely gamed.
Right. Rob's only on 17 HP as well, so he can go down with 1 bullet. Or get spotted out.
Do they know? Yeah, they've seen him. Okay, smoke down. Rops can't get shot through it, though, and Stiko returns the favor. Apex dead, and wow, I thought that was a really good chance for Apex, but very unlucky on the timing there.
Yeah, unfortunately that it doesn't connect with his first bullets onto Robs there, because that would have allowed him to back off his angle much quicker and probably managed to escape the shots coming through the smoke from Stiko. Nonetheless, still pretty decent outcome for G2. Regardless, they get a bomb plant, killed 3 CT players, so that means mousesports' economy is not going to be too great. As we can see, not a whole lot sitting left. 1,200 on 2 players and 1,400 on Chris J, but Robs and Stiko both having to empty their accounts. And pretty measured buy coming from G2. 4 Deagles. Really the biggest investment, but no Kevlar. Chris J, he did this a lot versus SK as well. Him and Sunny trying to go aggressive. Not going to pan out. Chalk's already gotten into position. He will get traded out, though, but still, if you're G2, you're happy with that outcome.
Yeah, for sure. 1-for-1, always good when you're on these kind of buys. And I mean, Apex only has a Glock here. Throwing guns back and forth, but now mousesports take some Bernardo control, trying to bring the heat here. But they have to be careful. Again, you don't want to lose too many guns in this kind of round, because it means when G2 go for that buy in the 4th, all they need to do is get, you know, one buy round, and then mousesports are forcing pistols up in the next. So you need to keep as many players alive, considering they only kept 2 in the previous anti-eco. Yeah. This one should be a lot safer, though. Well,
you see that. No flashes, though, for G2 here to kind of pop out of apps, but who needs that when Kenny S lands those kind of deagle shots? Drops down in Apex in the back of Oscar as well. Has the worst weapon possible for this kind of
poor guy
situation, but still, you know, drags the attention off of Oscar for a little bit. Allows for Body to get into a better position here.
Oh, no, that could have been so good for Oscar, but Body catches him. And now it's just Sunny in a 1v3. Does find the first. Kenny low on the site as well, but Body's going to get mollied off. That will force him back, and Kenny gives away his position. Body a
just
ballsy
mans
push.
Up.
And I think that's Kenny calling for support there, because Kenny knows with that Molotov down, Body is probably going to be put in a 1v1. So instead, he just forces the kill. There's no way Sunny expects that peak.
Yeah, and Body's going to be put in a 1v1 where he's already tagged down to low HP. Sunny obviously knows where he is, and can pretty much toy with him. So yeah, ballsy call from Body, but probably the correct one as well. Works out, and well, a round that definitely wasn't meant to go the way of G2. Allows them to get a pretty nice buy altogether, and that's not the case for mousesports at all. But they're gonna try something different then. If you don't have all the utility and weaponry, change up positions, and Sunny with a very aggressive stance in mid here, undetected as well.
Apex has to be careful, but Sunny about to strike from behind. Apex expects it. I don't know how, considering the map control G2 had, but either way, that's a pick the way of G2, and they'll certainly not turn their nose up at that. Despite the damage done to both Kenny and Apex, mousesports only have some pistols and SMGs, but for the low HP players, these weapons are even more dangerous. G2 have to be very careful coming into this buy round that they at least put the players with high health in a position to succeed, in a position to get picks, and that's where Body is. But will Rops find him first? Because MBK is coming in through the apartments at the same time. Rops will run back. Maybe could have caught a kill there, but doesn't want to go down. Because again, if G2 find the next pick, the round is probably theirs. mousesports need to equalize this.
Yeah, Rops, I had an opportunity. He spotted the foot of Body, but obviously making noise as he backs out. Body moves forward here, and G2 having the same approach as they did all game long versus Astralis as well, just setting up in a really safe default. Body, though, moving a bit far, not too far forward. Shoxy, though, on the opposite side of the map, is able to find Stico. Equal numbers, but HP definitely favoring mousesports here, and now with MBK going down, that leaves it all to Apex and Kenny.
G2 did it right, though. They put the players with high health in positions to get the frags, but the issue is they didn't get the frags, so now it's the 2 low men from the beginning of the round left to clutch this one out.
Yeah.
Certainly an opportunity for mousesports. If Rops plays with his pistol, he needs to be aware that these guys are tagged up. Oscar's coming in with the AK from the same position.
Well, they'll know that Apex is low. They also have a Molotov to clear out new boxes. Unfortunately for them, nobody there. This is going to be really tough, though, with Oscar having an AK and full HP. Molotov taking its time. Actually just going to throw it to the middle of the side. That's going to do nothing at all.
Careful.
Time is running out as well. No kit on the mousesports side. And Oscar goes down. Finds Apex, though, but not a whole lot of time left. And Kenny is able to deal with Rops as he moves on to site. So G2 managed to hang on, but similarly to mousesports, they do take heavy losses in this round. But luckily for them, that was a full investment from the CT side, so they're going to have to eco now. Actually, I say that, but they decide to force up again. They're eyeing an opportunity here, knowing that G2 took heavy losses, but it's so much easier to replenish or rebuy on the T side than it is on the CT side, and you can kind of tell the story from it. An AWP in the hands of Kenny. That's going to be put to work immediately, and pretty much only pistols to speak of outside of the MP7 on Chris J.
Be careful. Flash around the corner. Apex is there. And yeah, this anti-eco for G2 again. Or anti-force seems to already be kicking off to a great start. mousesports, with this kind of buy, you need man advantages taken early. You need picks. And that's why Sunny's still trying to force it up towards Banana. If he plays passive, G2 can just walk into B, kill him, and get the round. So Sunny's attempt at a trade doesn't go too well. And Rops just missing the time in the apartments. MBK is going to walk down the stairwell, but oh no, he's going to get timed because he's getting pushed from back. Body's coming up the stairway, he's behind, but actually Body runs out of the apartment. So he'll just group up with his team. Scout has to work for Stiko. He's the only one defending this B-bomb site. Flash goes out. G2 still prepared with all their forces here. And I think if you're mousesports, this is when you full rotate and you go for a risk. But with that kill, may tempt G2 to back off and hit A, not wanting to hit the Scout up. Stiko's now going to call for support. Barops has such a long rotation from the back of A site. G2 going to get the plant in, and mousesports, can they even win this round?
Well, they don't have a kit, so they need to pick up the tempo here. One flash on Rops as well. That has to be the kind of go signal for Stiko. Two of the players, or three of the players now on G2, all tagged up, so they'll all die to one shot from the Scout. Oh, wide peek there from Apex. A little bit optimistic. Doesn't get punished for it, though. And that's going to stem the retake from mousesports. No time left really to defuse the bomb. Stiko left. He's going to get handled by Body. So the force buy doesn't really pan out for mousesports, even though they are able to get numbers in terms of, you know, downing 3 players on G2's side. In the long run, it's not really going to do a whole lot for you. And I think at this point, you just kind of have to admit defeat and take the eco.
And again, we joked about it a little bit yesterday, but you could see Rops pick up that gun from MBK, the Krieg, right? And he goes for that 1v1, a kill that he would usually, I imagine, get with the AK, but he just couldn't hit that spray. He wasn't ready with a gun. So that is one of the positives, jokes aside, with using the Krieg for MBK, is that other players, when they pick it up, they have no idea what they're doing, and I don't blame them.
That is definitely true. We saw it yesterday as well when Sivnix in that 1v1 picked up the Krieg on overpass. He's not able to land any shots, but Sunny is. And so is MBK. So a 2-for-1 trade here going in the favor of G2. Obviously, quite different places on the map, but that does spread out mousesports pretty heavily. And at this point, you can kind of just stack up on one bomb site, hope for the best. Maybe G2 is kind enough to run into you. So they've left the bomb site completely open, but G2 are probably just going to stick to their true mantra, and that's sitting passively for right now and just await any sort of aggression. And Oscar is going to hear MBK here, but MBK being very thorough about checking the angles.
Cleverly so as well. I feel like these forces from Mouse have put them in a really awkward spot going forward because, yeah, on Mirage, when you're confident and you know the map as well, you know, it's not as a worry, but when you're up against G2 on one of their better maps, who are on their T side as well, you know, going for constant forces, yes, I can see what they're trying to do in terms of gaming the economy, but it's going to really put them on the back foot, seeing as it didn't work out. G2 having a 4-2 as mousesports go for their buy. And I mean, already that's not a bad T half, considering, you know, they're going to get more, for sure.
Yeah. I'd be very surprised if G2 could stop at 4, considering what we've seen so far in this tournament. Now, G2 just really taking their time here before they put the bomb down. Finally, with 20 seconds remaining, they're going to deem the bomb site safe, and Body already posted up for any sort of shenanigans from mousesports. I would assume that the mousesports player just set up in a crossfire, waiting for G2 to rotate down Banana, and so far, 2 other players will oblige, but probably not going to move further down. They don't really need to get further away to be outside of the blast radius. So it's going to be tough for mousesports to find anything out of this. Maybe if they get lucky, they might be able to get their hands on a weapon.
Even then, that's a bit much to ask. G2 don't even need to push past this banana position. I don't think they're planning on doing so either. Already Shox has got his knife out. Very confident they can hold on to these guns. mousesports won't be getting anything, it seems. They try for some aggression, but it's too late in the round. So it doesn't matter too much. They can buy up anyway. Lots of money on the mousesports side. We should be seeing an orb. Props has the cash for it, so he'll throw it over to Oscar. No double orb into this buy round, but we do have one on Kenny, of course, from G2.
Yeah. Obviously, we talk about how difficult it is to play with an op on that T side. Kenny probably one of the more proficient oppers of actually doing that.
And I'd say G2 are one of the best teams on the CT side of Inferno running that double up with, you know, well, usually Kenny and Shox, but now, recently, MBK and Kenny. Yeah. Be interested to see how that carries on. Shox got naded and he ran through a Molotov. Even if Chris J didn't kill him, that molly would have burned him to death.
Yeah, no, that's just very optimistic. But luckily, Apex is there. Puts a balance in everything. So 4-on-4, that is a bit of an advantage, but as I say that, MBK gets picked off by Oscar. Yesterday we saw StarSeries playing so far back towards this A bomb set that MBK was just allowed to peer around towards mid, pretty much as he wanted to. mousesports not allowing for that. And honestly, you know, even the matchup that SK or mousesports had versus SK, we did see a lot more aggression or more aggressively positioned CTs from from mousesports than we did SK, and that definitely panned out for them in the long run. So this is something that G2 has to take into consideration. For now, they need to figure out how to deal with a 3v4. Not a whole lot of utility left on the side of mousesports. Stico, pretty much the only, well, he is the only one with any sort of utility, and he's over towards that speedway area, so he's not going to be able to hold off anything at all if they go towards A, but, well, we have a sneaky Apex making his way in towards the B-bomb site.
Only one smoke as well left on G2 for that spawn. They've got to watch out because Stico's sitting there. Nade in, forces Apex 40, goes for the pre-fire, but it won't hit. There's still a player at the back of the new boxes. Do they expect it? Because that Molotov almost landed. Maybe G2 think this position is clear. This gives Sunny a perfect opportunity to get some work done, and Apex won't check it. There's the kill from Sunny. Can he get more done? Because there's only 8 seconds on the clock. Kenny S responds with a shot from the AWP, and we're into a 3v2. Bomb plant can come in just with 2 seconds remaining, and Stico trying to force a frag, trying to win this round, but Kenny S responds. His second orb kill, looking for another, and this is where mousesports group up. They don't want to take a 1v1 in this position, don't want to give Kenny the satisfaction. He's very open, and while they line up, Rops is going to get the kill.
That's just a wide angle for Kenny to take there. He could still find an angle player he plays closer to new boxes without being necessarily open to ruins there. Obviously, it doesn't help that he looks away at the wrong time, but that could have been really tough for mousesports to deal with because they didn't have any utility left to kind of force the hand of Kenny. So it could have very easily been a G2 round. But nonetheless, mousesports managed to hold on to the advantage that was created for them early on with that 4v3 and get their 3rd round on the board. Now, you talked about how we didn't see a double op setup coming in from mousesports in the round before, and that's going to be the case this time around, though. So Chris J picks that up as well. And G2, back to their old ways. They're going to force up here. They know they killed 3 CT players, so the economy is not going to be perfect for them. We do have Sunny on a UMP. The issue is, though, not a whole lot of utility to work with for G2 here. So they might have to rely on contact plays and just individual skill to carry them through here.
That certainly won't be too much to ask for, though. This is a team that's very good at these kind of rounds, obviously.
Yeah, interesting setup here from mousesports. 3 people towards arch, not towards quad side. Rob's obviously on balcony, and then you have Oscar and Stico both playing in quad, doubling up. No boost or anything like that, just Oscar taking the initial peek. And then having Stico as a backup as he falls away after the first shot.
Watch out. G2 looking like they want to run through some smokes here. It seems like that will be the case. Flash comes in. Rop's going to kick things off from the pit. So Apex dead, and G2 all out of utility, completely in fact. They've already used all their smoke, so they've got to act while they're down at least. Oscar holds the wrap, and Body will get taken down. MBK to follow, and there's a shot from Oscar. Doesn't even need Sunny to rotate off that B-bomb site, because they are shutting this round down. Rop's playing passive, not needing to overface here, but there's a player coming out of the balcony. Oscar will hit the shot. Yeah, that certainly works for mousesports. Flawless round.
Definitely works, and yeah, G2 running into the issue that they run out of utility. They have no way of actually putting Oscar in an awkward position, and as we mentioned on Mirage, he's not going to miss too many of those shots. Cleans up with, I think it was a 4-kill. So, yeah, not a bad start to the double op setup. Obviously, that is a bit of a risk on the CT side. It's so expensive to just play CT in general, so if they were to lose that round after having opted in for it, could have been, you know, the start of a disaster, but they managed to escape that issue.
Well, early peak for Oscar goes Array. G2 get the mid-control back in their favor once again, but they also hold on to the bottom of Banana. Not contesting, waiting for mousesports to run dry of utility, potentially. mousesports a team that do like to contest this Banana on the CT side quite heavily. Chris J's actually just posted there alone now on the car. And Sunny is pre-rotated up to A. So this is a gamble stack here for mousesports. They've really got no info to work off other than the fact that G2 haven't got aggressive up towards B. But I mean, they're still holding out the bottom of Banana. They don't want to completely lose all the map control. mousesports aren't going to be allowed to push Chris J all the way down to the tree, but with the AWP, he's happy sitting back passive on the boost, I think.
We saw mousesports doing this quite often, actually, and it fits really well because G2 versus Astralis yesterday didn't really have too much of an interest in pushing Banana back. They were pretty happy setting up with their default and then peering up towards mid, and then later into the round, opting to go towards Banana. But mousesports, as long as they can get that early call, should be happy. Trades go back and forth here. Oscar misses the shot, is forced back into connector. And Stico goes down to Kenny, but Rops in pit is able to find Body before he burns to a crisp. And Oscar now needs to hit a couple of shots here. And allow for Crochet to rotate in. Double op, definitely not the optimal weaponry in this kind of a scenario. And Chris J seemingly is aware of the fact that G2 have made a move towards this B bomb site. Shock's already in pool. Chris ready to receive.
Uh-oh. No time. If he drops the bomb and stays alive, this round is over. Does take down Kenny. Shock's going to go for the instant plant. That's a risky move. And Oscar comes in from behind. He misses. Shox has an opportunity now. Will he be able to do it? No. Chris J finds the kill and mousesports take the round. But I was about to say that was a scary situation to be in if you're G2. No smoke towards CT. Double up setup. Chris J certainly could have shut them down on the cross. But nice play towards the coffin. Just waits for the plant. Drops the bomb and forces Shox in a position where he has to stick.
Yeah. It's actually surprising that Shox is able to get the bomb plant in a kind of situation like that.
But of course, Chris doesn't want to overface and get picked if Shox is faking. You know,
that would be the silliest thing he could do. I mean, you're fine with trading a bomb plant for a round win.
Yeah,
pretty much a guarantee of a round win with Oscar wrapping around so quickly. So mousesports kind of righting the wrongs from early on. They did start off winning the pistol and the following round, and then it was a 4-round streak from G2. Now though, 3 rounds in a row. Starting to look pretty confident here on their CT side. They have these double ops going for them. That's also a big thing. The fact that the 2 players remaining alive as well in that last round was the double ops. Well, G2, for once, early deciding to go towards Banana, setting up with all the Molotovs and a passive hold from mousesports here.
Yeah, smokes in, Molotovs to follow, and 5 Frenchies about to burst this site. Sunny and Chris J have to hit their shots. The boost's up, the shots are in, but they're not connecting enough. Sunny only gets 1 and Chris J's dead instantly to the CZ. Running out of ammo is Sunny in the smoke. 6 bullets. How's he alive? He trades position. CZ can't be pulled out in time. So Shox does trade. Apex caught in the corner. Nice check from Stiko, but the AWP point follow-up from Oscar. He needs to do so because now G2 have upgraded these pistols to rifles, and Stiko, another frag as he comes into the site. This man is contesting like a beast. He's going to run in. Was dropping the bomb, following onto Kenny, and there it is from Stiko. 4 frags. mousesports not giving up, not letting the bomb plant go down, and giving G2 no opportunities.
Yeah, very well done there, Stiko, being a savior in that round, especially with how quickly mousesports lost control over that bomb side. Sunny does an admirable job of just staying alive, but creates enough confusion for mousesports to get into place. And Stiko, just as you said, being very relentless in his aggression, is constantly moving forward, putting pressure on G2, not allowing them to get the bomb plant down. Double nades down mid. Not going to do a whole lot of damage. No ops on the side of G2. Not a whole lot of utility either. Last time we saw them do this towards the A-bomb site, they got stuck in that quad area. Well, now they might not even have the chance to set up that forceful of a buy. Shox goes down to the aggression and Banana. Chris J finds the connection, and now, well, this is starting to look pretty rough for G2 here. They had an excellent T side versus Astralis, and already mousesports looking to get to 7 rounds.
Yeah, G2 haven't picked up a rifle round since that first 4 streak that they went on, so this is certainly looking dangerous. Well, mousesports obviously took the pistol, but look at this from Rops jumping up, 2 kills in the graveyard. G2 have expected this position in the past. We obviously saw Kenny got a D coming out of the apartments, but they don't this time. And so Oscar is going to have Rops covered. And I love it when you have a team like that that can just defend each other and not be scared of hiding for 10 seconds. Rob's not peeking into that final fight, knowing Kenny completely knows where he is. Oscar has his back. So another round for mousesports. And yeah, I mean, this is a 5-round streak now.
Yeah, 5-round streak. That means max loss bonus for G2. But again, limited what they can do, and I think they've kind of realized the fact that they need all the utility they can get their hands on if they want to have a shot, so just kind of doing a mini investment here. Still going to have plenty of cash to buy up in the following round. The problem is, though, with mousesports being on this 5-round run, they've been able to build up a bit of an economy, especially Oscar, sitting at above 10K post-purchase.
I'm surprised at the really passive B play from mousesports against pistols, to be honest. They're expecting this economy to be fairly weak from G2. It's more common you want to take a position towards the top of Banana where you can get a shot off and fall back, take a pick. Because now G2 have been given all this map control. They can go for the execute towards B. And mousesports just have to fight on the site. We saw a couple of rounds ago how it happened. They lost the 2 players. Obviously, Stiko had a big play. But G2 can win this battle.
Well, I think it's down to the fact that if one T player can easily sneak by, and if you get rushed down by a pistol, you're pretty much screwed. And Chris J with a double. Sunny doesn't want to be any worse. It's 2 of his own. Shoxy left to his own devices. And I also think it's a really good setup because it's so hard to weed out Chris from that back corner with the op, and almost at any given time, any capable opper will find that first frag.
Yeah.
So that allows for all the focus to shift towards Chris J, allows for a ton of space for Sunny in a heightened position to find easy pickoffs as they come running in towards sites, because it's imperative for G2 to actually get up on the bomb site and close in the gap as quickly as possible, seeing how they just have pistols.
I was just more surprised that they were running it after last time, where obviously, Chris J doesn't hit the shot, Sunny gets a 1-for-1, and then, they luckily have Steeko coming in to actually pick up the mess, but still, that's not consistent, at least relying on Steeko to be able to do that every single time. Luckily enough, as you say, though, they do hit their shots this time, so it works out.
I do think the previous round where G2 actually managed to get into the bomb site was more of an anomaly, and I think it's a bigger risk to play aggressively simply because there is a chance, depending on the spawns you have, for a T player to sneak near the half wall in Banana, and if Chris J goes for a wide peek behind the boxes, for instance, he might spot guy number 2 or number 3. I think that's the guy who's closest up, so even if he gets that kill, it can easily get traded out. And all of a sudden, Sunny doesn't really have anyone to play distraction of. He is the sole focus on the 4 remaining French players coming rushing in towards the bomb site. Oh, Chris immediately ruins the day of MBK.
Oh, that's a wallbang.
Yep. It's Apex taking the brunt of that damage.
It even goes into Shox as well, through Apex's body and the wall.
Getting maximum efficiency out of that shot, pretty much. Well, that does put a bit of a damper on the mood of G2. They obviously lose a bit of utility on MBK as well. It's not like they have too much to work with either. Only 1 Molotov here, and preferably you would have liked 2 to 3 to taking this B bomb site. They do at least have 1 smoke here. They could put down body though. The one guy with the Molotov, he's going to try to sell a fake here towards the A bomb site. And Rob's been doing a pretty good job in pit, but he is going to get overmanned by body. Ooh, unexpected outcome of that situation. Body definitely being able to keep them honest on that A bomb site, and that delays the rotation. Chris J all by his lonesome on the B bomb site. This time doesn't have Sunny to back him up, and that's going to make sure G2 finally get a bomb plant. It's been a while in a 2v2 situation here. Oscar patiently in Banana, and the second he moves out, that's when Apex shows up. So things lining up perfectly for the French players right now. Sunny trying to sneak his way into Banana. Apex might get caught off guard by this. Hasn't been spotted, I think. There we go. Wins out the duel. Shoxy, though, in a completely unknown position for Sunny as of right now. Oh, Shoxy?
That's ballsy. I mean, 25 HP gets the kill, but
definitely not afraid of flames. We saw that earlier on in a Banana Rush. But yeah, that's definitely ballsy, especially with how much time is left on the bomb at that point.
Maybe he thought he was on it. He must have.
I mean, we would have probably heard the sound. I mean, you could see how far away the
Molotov.
You could see the trajectory of the Molotov as it bounces in, right? And depending on length and the angle of it, you can kind of estimate how far away he is from the bomb plant. So I would imagine Shoxy would have heard that in any case, but yeah, the unexpected running through flames seemed to work out. It worked out for body as well. Keep that in mind. So maybe that's the game plan. Kenny, who has gotten into an angle before Chris sees it. Sunny though should have been able to pick up Apex, but that's not going to work out. And we see the aggressive hold from mousesports falling completely apart, and that's the B bomb site in tatters. Bomb's going to go down easy as you like, and already G2, they smell blood. Robs downs MBK, but it's immediately traded by Body. Body having much more impact this time around than what we saw in Havum, Mirage. Oscar left to his own devices, stuck in CT spawn. Haven't made a noise though, so might get the drop on one of these players. Well, why not do it with style when you can? The no-scope into the head, through a wall onto Kenny. He's able to follow it up on Apex as well.
He can jump on the bomb here. He has a smoke. He has full utility. They're coming in through Speedway, but Oscar can win this round. Death to the chicken that killed Rops in the match yesterday versus SK, and Oscar's just going to stick the bomb. Oh my God.
You have to be joking.
What a way to lose a round. G2 are going to be kicking themselves.
That's a 100% full tilt moment.
And an emotional team as well is G2. So that can't be good to lose.
I don't care how mentally sound you are. That should break you. That's a 1v4. that mousesports have no business of winning. Oscar probably thinks to himself that, you know, I'm pretty screwed. I might get a kill or two, and that's going to be it. But just eyes the opportunity the second he finds Apex. And G2, talking about how well they played their T side yesterday. This time they, you know, do an excellent job of finding the openings on B, but just completely bungles it.
That is ridiculous. What a round for mousesports. So that's got to be a real confidence booster as well now moving forward. You know, we said 4-2, 6 rounds in, oh, you know, it's okay for G2 because, you know, they've first got a great start, 4 out of the first 6 rounds, and I'm sure they'll get more. Well, they've only got 1 more. They need to get this last round. They need a 6-round half because, to be honest, mousesports are still in control. Take into account, you know, most of these rounds for G2 are off of just mismatched economy from mousesports. These force buys earlier in the game where mousesports were trying to game G2 and get into the heads of them. But now G2 are in a bit of a tough spot. They do have a very good buy for this round, though, but no AWP and 2 of them on mousesports. So that is something to worry about. Already a pre-rotation towards A as well.
Yeah. Chris J being the sole defender of the B bomb side. He's not going to see any action anytime soon. Stico getting flashed into mid. Oh, spots out a lot of G2 players, but no frag to be found. Instead, it's going to be G2 finding 2. Still, though, both Robs and Oscar have done a formidable job of holding it down this A bomb site. They're in familiar positions as well, but G2, they're going to go for a bit of a twist play here. It's going to end up in a B split. Body trying to maintain some focus on the A bomb side and does so as well, but Oscar, you can see he's sensing the danger here. Oh, again, Chris J with a double. He's done it 1 time already, and he's able to, you know, just buy time here, sitting behind new boxes. Finds the 3rd as well as Strokes, and the 2nd Kenny comes to drop in. Oscar is there to help him out, and well, things can't get much worse for G2.
No, I was going to say, you know, what else do you need if you're mousesports? There's no, Chris wasn't even ready. He was pre-aimed at Banana while open to CT, and he just flicks in G2 liner. As you said, not the first time that's happened this map, but in a far more compromising situation. The last time was an anti-eco.
Yeah.
That was a buy round where G2 had control. With the pick from Oscar coming out into the apartments, killing, I think it was Body.
Yeah.
mousesports stick with Rops and Oscar on the A side because they go, okay, we just got a pick. It's likely going to be A. Commit with this, but that's just a fake. And Chris J changes that round.
That is so ridiculous. MBK throwing out easy life. Chris J in the chat afterwards.
Wow. 10-5 though for mousesports. Good half from them. Now moving to T side, we've got a quick play into the apartments. Kenny's here though. Do they check it? That's a nope. Shocks finds the opener, but Stico double trade. Consistent as ever. Now, mousesports back in the advantage, and G2 having to pre-rotate a man over. MBK will join Body on this A bomb site. It's going to be Apex alone on B, but I mean, that may even force Apex off of this site as well. G2 losing players on all sides of the map. MBK finally going to respond, but at this point, mousesports are walking with 3 men into a very unstacked B bomb site. Apex is going to have to do some heroics here towards the back of the site. He lets them pass, and they haven't found him just yet, but he's getting wrapped on the right side. Does take down Robs. 1 more is needed. Chris J just baiting, playing with his food. Apex needs to find this shot, but he won't. And Oscar takes down MBK, wrapping through the CT spawn. And mousesports not even grouping up to take that 2v1. They're just confident in their ability to win their fights.
Yeah, right now, it seems like G2 are shook. There's no doubt Stico should probably be able to find 1 frag out of the 2 down in Boiler there, but there's no reason for him to be able to win out 2 duels at the same time. And obviously, you know, him not going down, that keeps G2 without too much information as to what's going on the A bomb side, and then he follows it up with a 3rd frag as well. And right now, G2 are in heaps of trouble.
Yeah, for sure.
And to think of like how it all panned out, that 1v4 round, which would have hurt mousesports' economy significantly to the point where they would have had a shoddy buy going into the last round of the first half. And instead of, you know, instead of a 10-5 half, it could have been 8-7 for G2.
And again, like I feel like we really haven't seen anything when it comes to these rifle rounds for G2. You know, I'm trying to work out how many rifle rounds they've actually won. 2 out of all of this, because obviously,
yeah, that sounds about right.
You know, I'm discounting the early rounds right after pistols when there are still SMGs, Galils. You know, no one's on an AWP yet. You know, that's not a full buy round for either team. But when we've had those full buy rounds, G2 have only won a couple of them, and mousesports have just been dominant on both halves, as you say. So,
I guess to be fair, G2 have made it pretty difficult for themselves in some of these buy rounds. I mean, if you're able to lose a 1v4 after plan somehow, some way, then you know it's not a mystery that you're not going to be able to rack up a whole lot of rounds. And right now, 3 members are still alive on G2's side. They're all stacked up on that A bomb site. It doesn't really seem like mousesports have any intention of, selling a body towards B to figure out if there's anyone stuck there. I'm just going to commit to this A bomb site. So that might be a bit of an issue. Low HP on Sunny. I mean, he's going to go down immediately through MVK's scout.
And they have the double setup on the site as well. They might not check the second corner. They see Kenny S, but do they expect Shox with him? He's actually stood on his head. They don't check it. Shox is waiting, and Stiko's going to go for the plant. Still has no idea. Shox drops a bomb, and there's 10 seconds left. Only has to stay alive. Rop's on the hunt. Only 5 seconds as well. Shox is doing a masterful job at this. Can he finish off with a kill? He doesn't even need to. Rops runs out of time. And G2 will pick up the round. The triple stack on A, and what a play from Shox.
Yeah, just playing it cool, calm and collected there to stop the bomb plant, but still, even in that situation, I think Rob's, positioning-wise, plays it really, really correct. Jumps on top of the boxes. That means that Shoxy has way less of an avenue to actually hide away and just play a ring around the rosy. Just completely whiffs 35 bullets with the Galil. And there's no doubt in my mind that Robs should be able to kill Shoxy 10 out of 10 times there. Instead, doesn't pan out, and it gives G2 Esports a much-needed lifeline.
Tech 9 on Chris J. Haven't seen this gun in a while. Forgot this existed.
I think he is pretty much the only one who still uses it. He's able to find a kill every now and again, and we're going to see an aggressive boost here. P90 being boosted up and immediately taken down. Not really sure why they wanted the P90 up there instead of the Colt in any case.
Didn't Taco only recently switch? I think I saw him tweet saying, okay, I'm now on the CZ. I've now caught up, but
that could be. I can't remember seeing Taco getting a single kill with the Tech 9,
no,
so that might
that's why
be the reasoning for the swap. But yeah, odd decision from G2 there, putting a P90 up instead of a Colt. I guess, considering the outcome, that isn't too bad. Much better to have Apex on a Colt than a P90 to defend the B-bomb site solo. He's taking a very passive stance here, so they're seemingly content with holding on for a retake here if mousesports were to actually commit to this B-bomb site, but they're intent on going towards A again. They ran into a stack last time. Not going to be the same case this time around, but Kenny able to deal with Oscar as he tries to sneak around Rap side. And Stiko, though, finds a perfect eagle shot onto Shoxy and Pit. Might not expect Body to be here as well, though.
No more antics from Shox this round, at least. mousesports can be confident in that. Body now upgrading his UMP, and with G2 holding a very passive B setup, mousesports actually going to rotate. And this is the perfect call to make. They don't know just yet, but it's empty. No smoke for the CT spawn. Chris J just got a cross, but Apex doesn't see it. So Apex can't get the kill. Finally responds onto Sunny, but that's a bomb plant for mousesports. A 3-on-3 retake, even with only pistols. mousesports certainly with an option to win this round. Kenny's going to hear the reload. We'll know Stiko's now in the pool, so Apex can expect this close angle, but there's a crossfire. Chris J at the back of the site, and one more man in the banana. G2 just trying to bait out someone here from mousesports. Stiko's spotted, but they can all triple peek this. Rops goes aggressive, but Kenny's holding the angle. Nice bait from G2. Better shot from Apex. Going to try and finish it off. It's only this Tech 9 left, and that's why you buy the CZ. G2, 7 rounds on the board. They do pick it up, but it did look scary.
Very unfortunate timing from Apex, though. Looks away to, for some reason, just get eye contact with Kenny as he rotates in towards CT spawn. The second 2 players jump past from mousesports. He's able to find Sunny, though, so alleviates a little bit of pressure, but mousesports get away with the bomb plant. Well, G2, they'll just take any round they can get at this point. I mean, considering how this played out, they probably shouldn't have been sitting at 7 rounds. Well, I guess if you do account for the fact that they should have won a couple of more on the T side, I guess it kind of evens out, but still lucky to be in the situation they find themselves in right now.
Definitely not over, though. Once they start to get the money rolling, AWP's in play, that's when we can see G2 certainly pull back a comeback, and this round certainly isn't an issue either. Chris J, last man up, does get a kill with a Glock, so that's a bit of an insult to injury, but G2 still take the round. So 8-11, expecting maybe an AWP in this round. They have the money for it. They may as well, because mousesports are definitely going to have a bit of economy as well. Stiko does buy up the AWP. Actually forfeits his head armor for that as well. Has to go for just Kevlar, but no AWP play for G2. Maybe not wanting to bring it out early. That's usually one of their win conditions on this map, so big surprise there. Kenny maybe not feeling it.
It might be a case of also wanting to have a little bit bank to build off as well, instead of just potentially falling into the trap of having to eco after losing 1 round.
Could very well be the case.
How this pans out. No Molotovs on the side of mousesports, and we've seen how important they can be on any sort of side take to force players out of position. Instead, they do have 4 smokes. But yeah, getting G2 to play defensively on this B side is going to be a bit tough. Sunny takes a fair bit of damage. Well, a lot of damage at that. 2 nades to the face. And that's full banana control in the hands of G2.
And that's the price you pay when you're up against G2 and Banana as well. Trying to take any map control there is going to be difficult. You have so much utility on that CT side. However, had is the key word because G2 don't have any more. They have a smoke on 2 players and a Molotov, but other than that, it's just flashbangs. mousesports still with a couple of smokes left for an execute as they look towards this A bomb site. One already going down, and the flash to get Stiko out of the boiler as well. mousesports trying to take this control, but look at MBK. He's already pushed down Banana with information, so G2 have allowed for a 4-man A setup. And again, every time mousesports have hit A, G2 have had the majority of players over this site. They've had the read every single time. And even though Apex is fairly passive, it means he can rotate in position really quickly. Body close in the smoke, they're not going to wrap short. Instead, they push up long where Kenny S sits, but maybe flashing through? I hope they don't just blindly walk through. That'd be a bit risky, but Kenny caught. That's so unlucky, and Oscar finds another kill as well at the same time. Shox now in the pit has to step up. Oscar won't check the spot, but there's a second man in Apps, and Rops is going to make it work. One for him. Apex with the trade coming back in from Arch, but it's a 2v2. G2 can certainly play this retake. It's not turned out how they would have hoped, but they're still in a doable position. Stiko spraying and praying. Chris J back at the site. They're playing a 2-man on the site, and it will work for one frag. Trade in for Apex. How much more can Chris do? That's it. mousesports find the round. And G2, I feel like they had all the eggs in that basket, but they weren't able to make an omelette.
Yeah. Kenny just getting caught at the exact wrong time there.
Yeah.
If he has his eyes towards Arch, that's probably 2 kills for him, honestly, as the mousesports players have to go through a smoke. It's just very unfortunate. He managed to at least whittle the numbers down into just Chris J surviving, but definitely not optimal in this kind of a situation. But off of the back of not investing in that off, for instance, you're going to see a pretty healthy buy on their side. Lots of utility. Just an MP9 on MBK, but we saw how much that can do even versus weapons in the hands of at least Shox yesterday. Again, Apex wants to be aggressive. It's just going to be a bit of a standoff in Banana, though. Sunny smokes himself off, and well, Apex is definitely expecting that.
Poor Sunny.
Yeah.
Again.
So, once more, G2 able to get Banana control. MBK finds Chris J as well. Oscar is there to return, but man advantage still lies with the defending side. Oscar with the bomb down in A pit. Down in T pit. There's no intention of actually running up Banana all by his lonesome. Stiko has made his way into mid once more. Rob's hanging out in abs, as he does on the CT side as well. Ooh, actually spots out Kenny. Oh, that's a nice pick.
That's so big as well. Body actually throws a flash from the balcony. Does Rops realize it? He hasn't checked it. Body's blind. Lucky timing, but the drop will be heard shortly. Rops doesn't react, but Stiko certainly does. That's a gun dropped, available for Stiko to pick up. Oscar with the bomb plant on the site as well. It's very, very different. At least he's not going for that pit plant. Just scared of short for now, so he plants it just for the site. Not the best spot for Rops in the pit, but with Shox and Apex pushing up from short and Apps potentially, this could be good. It's just going to be that one Apps player from Apex, and Rops posted on the angle. He's ready and waiting. Molotov in, Apex to dive. Oh, the timing gets the better of Rops, but he flicks back and grabs the frag. Now just Shox left in a 1v3. And mousesports, I'm thinking 13 rounds is going to be a likelihood here. Already Shox on the save.
Yeah, guarantee. You can see 10 seconds left on the bomb. Shox did have a defuse kit, but then again, removing 3 mousesports players to set up in a crossfire. It's going to be an impossible task, and Rob's just really well played there, how he handles that situation. Runs out of the Molotov, is, well aware of the situation, dodges the flash in time to actually kill Apex as he jumps out of apps. mousesports again, though, seemingly losing control over the round initially, but somehow finds the right timings to get onto the bomb site. Obviously, great pick from Rops initially to find Apex, but then Body going down to Stiko. That is a bit of an issue. And you can see Body's not too happy with how things are going. Tactical timeout for G2. They're going to have to talk things through. They obviously don't have too much cash now. That bank has been depleted. It's only Shox with the saved M4. They do have around 3K on every player. Well, I say that Kenny is sitting on 2K. The decision have to be whether or not they want to force behind this cult and hope for the best, which, again, would be very G2-esque, I suppose, or if they want to hold on, allow for potentially an op coming in. Somebody drops that for Kenny, and then playing it out from 14 rounds in favor of mousesports.
But either way, mousesports really impressing me in this one. You know, this is a map that I wasn't sure how ready they would be prepared. And if anything, they've come in and exceeded, I mean, everyone's expectations. This is G2's pick. This is, you know, obviously a map that they are known to play. And even with mousesports not being too shy from Inferno, this is far more than I would have bargained for. 13-8. G2 with that reserved buy that you say, and the MBK up with a Zeus.
I like that. Considering the situation, all he needs is one connection. And mousesports haven't really shown any interest in moving up with multiple members at the same time either.
Oh, he even gets a tag.
Yep.
That's a ranged gun for those unaware. If you don't get really, really close, as in actually touching the enemy, you won't get the full potential damage, which is 100.
Yeah.
So many times you can get 98 and 1 with that gun. That is a real nuisance. But mousesports now killed the only B defender, and with that G2, the reason they haven't rotated here is not only are they on an eco round, so they can probably just hold onto this M4 and this armor, but also they're so committed to apps that if mousesports wanted to push B, G2 wouldn't be able to stop that. They're too far away.
Yeah.
You can see they've already got B pretty much by the time Shox has fully rotated from that apps position. So G2 just kind of banking that mousesports won't commit with that push and hoping they double back to A after that pick. However, that's not the case. These Ts will get the B bomb site for free.
The question is, what G2 make of this? They've obviously invested a little bit into the round. Shoxy doesn't necessarily have too much money reserves, so he might want to hold on to this Colt. It's sticking around, though. It's a bit of a curious situation. Okay, it's just going to...
He has a kit.
Yeah, well, if he goes for the ninja here, then that would be absolutely insane.
Trying to get revenge, maybe. I don't think mousesports would chase, so that's the thing. They know G2's money is low anyway,
Yeah,
so they're
there's
not really
nothing
interested, right?
Exactly, nothing for them to gain in that scenario. They know that it's going to be buy coming up from mousesports for G2 in the next round, so why would they chase?
Yeah, maybe if there were G2 players like showing presence on middle and mousesports like, oh, okay, let's just chase these kills. You know, we know where they are, but without information, it's too risky. Sunny's even going to take down Shox in the coffin, so he was already moved in position, trying to get ready for that ninja defuse. Optimistic from Shox. A nice attempt nonetheless. You know, I understand it. At 13-8, you're likely to try and do that kind of play because, you know, you need something to try and pull you out of this rut.
Still, though, I think Shoxy could have been perfectly fine just holding on to that weapon. I mean, could have gone for one exit frag that would have allowed him to drop an off for Kenny, for instance, while still having a weapon. Sure, he wouldn't have utility, but we haven't seen Kenny have an op on the CT side so far.
That is true. They didn't opt to go for it earlier on, but as you said, that could have been an economy reason. You know, trying to hold on to money so they could buy up if they did lose that round. And that was the case. They lost it and they got a good buy next round because they didn't buy the AWP.
Yep.
And
that was two unfortunate rounds as well. Like they simply lose the round off of, you know, unfortunate timings. First on Kenny and Arch there, and then in the following round, it's another scenario where they just get caught off looking the wrong way at the wrong time.
I just, you know, it's crazy to not see G2 be able to get an AWP here. They've had so many rounds on this half. But, yeah, no opportunity really. The only one time they had that chance, it didn't come through. So they really are paying the price for this one. Body has the money for it. He's late for the buy, so I don't know. Yeah, he can't drop it over. He wouldn't have armor, so he's got to go for the M4. G2, 8 rounds, last-ditch opportunity here to keep themselves in this game. They've got loss bonus to work with going forward, but if they lose this, only 4-round loss bonus. That's $2,900 with nothing else to spare. G2 have fully bought up into this round. So mousesports on the edge of victory here in map number 2. And this would be an important win as well to knock, well, not knock G2 out, sorry, but to qualify for the playoffs 3-0.
Knock themselves into playoffs.
There we go. We'll go with that one.
Yeah, that would be absolutely massive, and especially considering they haven't had an easy road here. Played SK in that second round as well. So definitely goes to tell the story of the strength mousesports is currently showing. Again, look at the aggressive positioning, though, from G2 here. They've obviously stacked up with 4 players on that B-bomb site, and that's off of the back of the aggressive positioning of Banana here. Well, ooh, MBK is going to get real far forward here. It's going to be basically a confirmation about what's to happen. Finds Tico with the bomb as well. Oscar's there to trade, but you know the jig is kind of up. Oh, and Kenny finally gets the drop on someone instead of being the receiver of that kind of a treatment. Body as well. Pop flash into A-Halls. And now, well, 2 quick responses from mousesports, but Body's there as well.
It's
down to Sunny.
I don't know why G2 are chasing so much, right? They get a double man advantage and they still push mid, and now we're in a 1v2 where Sunny can really win this, you know? He has a smoke for CT. He will fake it out, though, and I feel like that's a risk, especially when he knows both G2 players are on A, and he probably would have made it to B before Kenny S. So now walking back, he knows that one player is at least going to be committed here, and Kenny quickly will work out that this is a fake.
Yeah. Oh, this is the exact same move that Sivnix pulled versus Shoxy.
That's true.
Yesterday versus G2. And Kenny spots him out. Not in a position to deny the bomb plant, and with time running low, you might have wanted Body to be in a more aggressive position. It goes into the off angle.
We saw Bolts use that exact spot as well to catch out a player from mousesports on the site just yesterday, in fact.
So a lot of similarities happening right here.
And that is, of course, with mousesports still in the lead, you know. Big similarity, looking very good on Inferno.
Yep.
Trying to take this victory 2-0. I did say if this is going to Cobblestone, I think G2 are going to take it, but 2-0 is my prediction. I'm happy I went with that, but I'm still surprised and impressed with mousesports' performance. 14-9 up. G2, yeah, they have money, but losing 3 players means mousesports, if they buy up here, which of course they will, and they win this round, G2 get reset for the last round, potentially, of the game.
That's definitely the case. Well, we'll see what it comes down to. G2 obviously having a ton of issues here in this game. It's been a struggle. You know, some in part, you know, due to their own fault and in their own doings, but definitely some things have been out of their control. But again, you know, at this point, I'm slightly disappointed at G2, but in the grand scheme of things, just very positively surprised by how well mousesports are doing. I thought, you know, couldn't really put too much stock into the SK game they had yesterday on Inferno, simply because we know SK to be very up and down on that map. So even though they played well, it could always be, you know, a case of your opponent playing poorly and that making you look better than you actually are. But mousesports is definitely showing that they have put in the work on Inferno here.
Yeah, and now this creates a big question mark, because if they defeat G2 in this series and get to the playoffs, you know, how deep is this team going to go? Will they be able to, you know, again, repeat a best-of-3 versus SK if they get that kind of matchup? You know, will they get the major matchup again where they faced FaZe in the quarterfinals and lost there? You know, there's a lot of question marks whether Mouse can repeat the success they've had on the groups in the playoffs, but they have been doing so well in these best-of-3s, and the same format coming into that round of 8, there's certainly another opportunity for them. I wouldn't count them out. Maybe we could even see them in the final this time. They've done it before in ECS, albeit against lesser competition, but still strong performance there. And now we reach some of the penultimate round potentially of this game. MBK up on Banana. But the same story for 2 members of mousesports looking to take early control. And with only an MP9 and all his utility now gone, he's got a lot of pressure. Flash through, Chris J got a chase. It's making a lot of noise, but he still hits a shot. MBK dead. And Apex, what response has he got? He's got to go for a fight here, got to turn the tide, and he does. Big kills from Apex. 2 frags of the M4, can fall back as well.
Meanwhile, Shoxy finds 1 frag in middle to Stiko as well, as Stiko tries to peer out of Boiler, as he has done so many rounds in a row. He's going to find a second one on Robs as well. Robs actually venturing, you know, away from the A halts, where he's pretty much lived the entire game. And that leaves Oscar in a 1v4 situation. Does have an op, but we've seen him do crazy things. I mean, hell, he's already won a 1v4. But Shoxy this time around is not going to leave anything up to chance. Does close out the round. So 10 for G2. And now we're going just back and forth. Every round has a tactical timeout here.
I don't blame them, though. This is so close. And obviously, mousesports, they don't want to throw away this lead. It's been 2 in a row for G2. Mousesports on the edge of taking 15. And I think once they hit 15, you know, G2, unless they get a couple more in a row, they're going to have no money. You know, it's all a case of mousesports winning here and now. But the issue is now they've got to eco. So G2 are going to have a huge buffer due to these last 2 round wins in terms of the money. So even if mousesports find map and match point, G2 will be able to buy up going forward. Again, this is very light, if any, investment from mousesports. We don't really see anything into this round. So expecting G2 to take their 11th. Yeah. And if they can keep as many people alive as possible, that could be important going forward.
Yeah. A little bit purchased up on Chris and Sunny. Sunny is going to invest into Light Kevlar and ZZ, while Chris is going to get 1 flash. So assuming it's going to be a bit of a grouped up effort. Maybe Sunny leading the charge, and off of the back of a Chris J pop flash. You're going to see what happens. Yeah, it's going to be flash into mid here. Chris posted up in pit. So hoping to find someone from G2 playing close up. That's not going to be the case, though. So they're going to have to rely on their aim.
And look at Apex as well. He's pushed all the way down Banana. He's going to take down Rops. Luckily, no one with investment. Of course, you want Sunny and Chris to stay alive so they can actually attempt this plan, whatever it is. But Chris, not expecting the second push from Apex, potentially. I don't really know. His teammate just died from that exact position, but setting up a flash into middle to burst mousesports into G2's gunfire. The crossfire is enough for the French.
Apex just, after finding the first frag onto Robs, bails out, and then, you know, half a second later, makes the return into mid. Definitely unawares to Chris J. But yeah, pretty nice and easy round for G2. They do get to make sure that they're going to be able to rebuy if they were to let mousesports onto match point at least. So that is some reassurance. And now we see mousesports moving quickly into Banana. That's a perfect flash, and Apex, relentless with the aggression, is traded out by Sunny eventually, but not before doing over 50 damage to him as well. So
3 rounds in a row, though, he's done that. That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, this is when Apex is at his best, when he's able to just constantly, move forward. Oh, TP toes of Sunny being spotted out by MBK, so even more damage put into him. Down to 29 now. Oh, God. 2 HP, living dangerously here. It's finally going to get taken down. Robs is spotted out as well, obviously, as the trade comes in. And they do find an idea that Shoxy's there as he goes for the peak. It's Deco left alive, 2v1 situation, 33 HP. Just going to get the bomb plant down, but that doesn't really matter to G2 at this point. I'm expecting Kenny has to just sit still here until Body makes his way up Banana. Unfortunately, though, Stico got up in a position to potentially get 2 isolated 1v1s here. Bit of an off angle. Okay, Body plays this nicely. Spots out the information as to where he is, gives all the information and time needed for Kenny to help him out. So,
good pop flash as well.
Yeah. Well done by Body. I think a lot of players can fall for the temptation to actually just go for an immediate repeak onto Stico in that situation. Not necessarily because they know he's low on HP or anything, but just it feels like an angle you should be winning out on, right? And if he goes down there, then it becomes a lot harder for Kenny to maneuver with that op in hand. So G2 slowly mounting a comeback here. There's only 1 timeout left for mousesports, so they're going to have to think thoroughly about when they want to use it. For now, though, it's an eco, so that's probably why we're not seeing anything come into play. Fair bit of utility here picked up, though. So it might be an execute about Body, though, playing much more forward in apps. Does mess up his Molotov a little bit, but doesn't allow him to get a wide angle. But you see mousesports making their way up here. Quad side, Body getting caught off guard. Stick with the opening frag, and wall.
Oh, no. Of all rounds to win, could it be this?
What a massacre.
They've killed all the G2 members on the A bomb site, and with guns dropped over to mousesports, they could potentially do this. Armored up as well, even with some flashbangs to delay this push back in. While we have similar utility for G2, they've got to get quick kills. There's one from MBK. Teammate needs to come in as Shox rounds through the library. And G2, they've got to move quickly. They do have a kid in play. That's on MBK as well. But mousesports have already gone into their post plants. Robson Graveyard, as he always loves to sit. Do they molly that position, though? Because they need to use it somewhere. This Molotov needs to go down if MBK wants to isolate one position. Just guarantee no one's there. Nice peek from Rops right as MBK goes to the reload. And Shox now in a 1v3. Won't even get the shot to Stico. Too quick on that trigger. And mousesports have all rounds to win. Pistols up to A.
Giving G2 a taste of their own medicine. And it's the positioning from G2 that obviously it spells their demise in that situation. Body was initially playing aggressively in A halls, drops a Molotov, but drops it not far enough down the stairs to the point where it cuts off any sort of path for him to either peek down to get a good angle on anyone going through apps, or actually rotating around into Boiler, which would have been much more beneficial as he hears the rush coming in from mousesports. So instead he gets kind of stuck out on balcony. It's just caught by surprise by how far up Stico is. And from there on out, things just kind of get out of control.
At least G2 has built up that money from the last few rounds in a row, meaning they can at least fight for this game, try and bring it to overtime. They don't have to just instantly forfeit it as soon as mousesports hit 15, which some teams always get into the situation of just having a force buy, of having pistols in play, and that's never fun when you know you have to win this round. So G2 have the buy for it. AWP on Kenny as well. He's going to be up towards A short. We've got Apex back on B, but no aggression from him this time. mousesports probably expecting it and already trying to take slow control towards that portion of the map. No reason to get too aggressive. They just want to get rid of all this utility from G2. G2 are doing a fairly good job of holding on to it, and that's because they're not contesting places like Banana. They're not trying to go for this deep control, so mousesports will get all the control towards Banana, but G2 will have the utility to slow down the push when it does eventually come through. Although MBK, he's the only man left on B.
Yeah, he does have a Molotov, but not two Molotovs or an additional smoke here. We've seen G2 make this kind of a gamble. It's been more of an informed decision the previous times because they've had a more forward position to get information off of. But you can see Apex making his way back, and instead it's going to be the aggro in mid.
I like that.
That's Shoxy down. It's already creating havoc in the lines of mousesports. They kind of have to commit here, or at least make G2 believe they're committing. Chris J is going to take that duel. MBK pushes out. Oh, actually, mousesports make their way back. They realize that time is short. They need to commit here in Apex with a 3-man lineup. Why not finish it off with a 4th as well? And Apex has really come into his own here late into the second half.
Well, he was a great performer yesterday as well, up against Astralis on this exact map.
Yeah.
You know, alongside Shox, Apex was one of the men to step up constantly. Overpass as well, a place where Apex, you know, was destroying from both sides of Monster. We saw multiple 4K spray downs. This man is the only reason G2 are really still in this matchup due to this last few rounds. He's just been getting aggressive on Banana, and even when he's passive on B, he's getting these kills. So great performance from Apex. G2, another lifeline. And mousesports, they've got to play for that last round because, you know, they're saving a bit of money, but by and large, they've invested quite a lot. I mean, we look at some players, Oscar and Chris J don't have money. They've only got about 1K each, 1,500. So they're not going to be able to fully buy up unless they get a bomb plant.
Again, though, just the right choice. Oh, Body drops the bomb through the smoke. That's very fortunate. The entire quad side was just open.
Oh, but the wrap from Oscar. He takes down Body, falls back after that pick, but he's been caught by Apex. Aggressive down Banana and into mid, of course. Rops is going to try and force a kill here in the smoke. He needs to be very careful because there's 2 players on the other side, and he's the last man. He walks past him, swaps with Kenny, but no, Kenny's too quick. That could have been a very scary round if he was managing to pick up that first kill. But G2 retake. However, bomb plant for mousesports means they will have some form of money in this round. That's definitely vital if they want to buy up.
That's just kind of lucky, though, for mousesports. They bank on going quad. Nobody is there. Body drops the bomb through the smokes, which obviously is a bit of a downer for mousesports. But considering how much Oscar had invested in it, he wouldn't have had enough money to necessarily buy up a lot of utility. And drop an AK for one of his teammates. Robson would have had enough money to actually buy an op regardless, but still, you know, if they don't get that bomb plant, this buy is nowhere as near as powerful as it will be right now. And I definitely think they would have needed all the utility they could get their hands on because G2, they're going to have absolutely everything at their disposal. And, well, an impressive comeback to start here. 6 out of the last 7 rounds going the way of the G2 Frenchies.
And that was a 10-5 half with mousesports getting pistol, if I remember. So
and they've won both pistols, but
yeah,
they got reset.
Yeah. Either way, this has been a great map from G2 to pull it back, as you say, but mousesports still currently in the lead. This is another opportunity for them to close it out. They've had a couple of match points here, and G2 looking to bring this to overtime to have another opportunity themselves. Apex passive on B with MBK once again, but we've got full rifles up for the G2 side. Kenny S, again, posted back on short. We have this double man setup with Body up in the quad. But mousesports, they're very focused on B right now. They're not committed, of course. Stico's still lurking around in the apartments. mousesports, pressure on the B site. Nades up towards A. Kenny's been spotted. Stico will not re-peek into that, not against the AWP, or at least he shouldn't. Molotov will force him back, tries to time it with Chris J, but he gets forced back by the flames. And 30 seconds left. mousesports running out of chance.
Yeah, still 2 Molotovs left on each site for G2 as well with 30 seconds to go. And if MBK drops this Molotov here, as the smokes go down, it's going to buy even more time. He's already got that prompted up, and there down goes the Molotov. Flash comes in as well, and this is going to be such a hard take for mousesports.
There's the shot, there's the bomb. MBK 2 kills on the spray. It's not Apex alone to step up, although he's already dead. MBK needs to follow. Sunny needs to get this kill, and he does. Now into a 2v2. 9 seconds up for the plant. Shox may rush to smoke, but it would be a big move to make because Sunny's got the cover of the plant. Oscar puts it down. And now 2 members of G2 retaking back in with no utility. That means this dark position is crucial because with no Molotovs to force out mousesports from the back of the box, Shox might not expect this. We've got that bait from Oscar with the AWP and then Sunny to come in last. Not going for the Bogdan. Oscar peeks out wide. He doesn't hit the shot. Almost looked like he should have connected that. Looking for more. He catches Shox. And now Oscar needs to hit this last final bullet. Just waiting, baiting with the time. Body pushing up. He needs to find this second player as well. I think he knows Sunny's there. He does. Going for the pre-fire. He hits it. Body saves saves the day, but is there time?
Yeah,
Yes.
should have time. What an absolute crazy end to the game. Oscar,
Well, not end.
well, end to the regulation, I should say, because we are going into overtime. You're absolutely right. My, oh my, that has to feel like a lost opportunity for mousesports. Oscar missing probably the easiest shot he's had all game onto body there in main, and that would have pretty much been the end of it. Instead, just obviously because there's no additional response to Oscar sitting out there. It's probably what gives it away to body that Sunny's hiding in the corner. And with 15 HP, not a whole lot he can do. Oh, man.
This could be G2's game now. I mean, they're running off of fumes. They're running off of momentum. So going forward, mousesports not having too much strength on this T side so far. They didn't pick up as many rounds as you would have liked. 5 for them. Obviously, same story for G2, of course. But I feel like mousesports, having that dominant half, getting 10 rounds on their CT side and then moving over to T side, they should be going off momentum, getting a little bit more. But great comeback from G2 from that deficit, and now in overtime, they pull in a double AWP into the first round. A triple B setup to start things off, but already Shox has rotated back, and Chris J, aggressive through the smoke. He may catch out this rotation from Shox, because he's only now getting back into the A bomb site. Will mousesports expect this position? Apparently not. Shox gets one. Spray to Chris J as well, won't connect, but Kenny certainly will with a couple of kills on the A bomb site, make it 3. Rop's dead as well, and Kenny finally on that AWP vendetta, and that's what we like to see.
Took a while, but we got there in the end, and that results in 4 kills for Kenny. And well, we have to consider the fact that, they got 5 rounds on the T side, mousesports that is, and 2 of those were won off of 3v4 situations panning out for them because they get lucky timings simply on G2 members, and the third one was the pistol round. Or not the actual pistol round, but,
the force buy round where they
the force buy round with
yeah.
CZs, yeah. So mousesports haven't really had a lot going their way here. We talked about how G2, unexpectedly only getting 5 rounds after starting off 4-2, but at least they had more of a fighting chance of actually picking up multiple T-side rounds. That's not really been the case for mousesports.
Oh, that's awkward. Sunny catches MBK while jumping on top of the sandbags. They won't commit with it, but there are still 2 players here, so a wise choice for mousesports to not run into the site.
We saw that being the way they actually opened up Banana quite a few times versus SK. Sunny playing around that smoke around the sandbags. That I think it was at least 3 times towards the B side.
Look at this gamble, though, from G2. They've pulled a 3rd player over. This is off of nothing. This is a huge risk. Luckily, Chris J will open up, but Kenny S, aggressive through the smoke with a response. Already going to fall back, and apparently that's not the best idea because mousesports looked like they were committed. With that shot from Shox, though, it will at least hold G2 back for the time being. Kenny stays on the B site.
Still, Body is in for a massive job here. If he gets the wrong timing here, if he focuses on mid as Rops runs out, finds Oscar as well. That's a great connection. And maybe Rops should have been a tiny bit faster out of apps. Makes the bomb plant. Knows that Kenny S is nearby. Not going to bite on it, though. They're swinging around towards quad side. And if Rops reads this or not, that's the big question. Seems like he has an inkling, throws down a flash, doesn't see anyone in Arch, and now he kind of has to commit.
Oh, there's the shot. And Shox is too far away to trade. Will Rops expect the same position? That's the question. Making a lot of noise on the site. He won't. He looks away. And Shox, good timing on the peak there. I think Rops was expecting the double short push with the wide peak that he went for, but the reason he didn't is because Shox didn't instantly trade. So he starts to question that peak and go, okay, am I being wrapped from long? Is he too slow on this retake? Is Kenny going for a solo fight? And that's what loses him the round. So unfortunate, but G2, 2 in a row, looking for the 3rd. Auto sniper buy in this last round as well.
Oh, Apex, yeah. Kind of surprised to see that, honestly, because they've been having such a good string of rounds with just the rifle. Obviously, it does allow him for just continuously spamming through that half wall and Banana. So that might be the play, but they do have an AWP to kind of back that up. So, yeah. Volatile defense on the B bomb site that could punish them, especially if Sunny gets into a position like he did in the previous round. But passive setup from the G2 squad over at B. They're going to boost up, and that's going to be it, pretty much. Meanwhile, Rops once more in apps. Haven't really been an active player so much on this T side, just kind of been sitting around while the 4 others have been doing a lot of the work, but he has found a couple of openings. But again, just completely isolated from the rest of his squad. He's just going to be a nuisance, so make sure that G2 can never really leave that A-bomb site. Body probably knows that at this point.
This bait on B, though, is so good because MBK is just going to go off for a shot. mousesports will try and chase him down, and Apex can just rain death from the auto sniper. There's the shot from MBK. Doesn't even need to fall back. He can go in for more, but Chris J is about to meet his maker. Apex posted, finds the kill with the auto sniper, and there's not a whole lot you can do against that kind of defense from G2. 3 players left for mousesports, and this is looking like a flawless half for G2 so far.
It really is. Not a whole lot mousesports can do. They do have 3 Molotovs here, and I think, honestly, their best bet is to go in towards that stack on B. Simply because if they can close the gap, it's going to allow them to do something, and they have at least half a decent idea as to how the positions look there. As for the A-bomb side, it's a complete mystery at this point. Still, though, opting to go towards A. And already a solid setup. Kenny waiting on the corner here.
Oh, we hate to see that. Already another pick for G2. mousesports pinned as they have to push this bomb site with 11 seconds up. Kenny second shot, can't hit the third, but body certainly will. What a fantastic half from G2. They pull it all the way back from a 10-5 half with mousesports getting the pistol, and then in overtime they take it flawlessly on their CT side. mousesports are going to need to repeat the same story as G2. Yeah. Or we are going to be seeing map 3.
Yeah, and for all the mistakes that we saw G2 making on their T side, I would still say that they were in a better shot of actually picking up rounds than mousesports were. So that is also something to keep in mind going forward here. Kind of expecting G2 to close this out at this point. Flawless half from mousesports is what is required to just fight for another opportunity. Well, see how this pans out. Mac 10 being bought up by Apex.
B-rush it is, I guess. Early control, but look at mousesports. They've got a triple B setup. Smoke setup for Stiko. They can throw in nades. They're not going to go too aggressive, but that nade will do a lot of damage to Apex.
Still not a fan of the buy.
Nice J.
Oh, is that gun tip going to peer through?
No, he should be okay. Although, not with that. Apex just shoots him through the smoke. G2 already off to a man advantage. mousesports must be questioning, why is there a Mac 10 in overtime?
Yeah. That's a fair question. Still, though, Apex make it work, and he swaps out for the Colt here immediately. Might just be a backup plan, I guess, to make sure that Kenny has enough for an AWP at any given time during OT.
Oscar back to mid. He's going to need this kill to Kenny. Kenny been so good in the last few rounds, but Oscar, in this one, he's better. He hits the shot. Re-peeking back to mid, but he has to worry about Boiler because they could still come through the apartments, but that's not the case for G2. MBK's trying to wrap up towards this B site, but Stiko shut him down. mousesports need to realize this is a B play, but they have no information to go off of. They're playing on the site on A, so it's a really passive defense from mousesports. Luckily, Stiko begins his rotation, but if G2 find this pick to Sunny, suddenly it's a 3v3 and the bomb down. Shox running right into the site, trying to find that entry. Hasn't seen exactly where Sunny is, but he has a bit of an inkling. He must know. There's the shot. Angle found. Shox finds one. Body through the wall as well. Takes down Stiko, and G2 on the edge of victory. One player will go down through the smoke from Oscar, but it's still a 2v2 retake and not an easy position to be in if you are mousesports. Oscar through the smoke and Rops to follow up. Shock shuts it down, and that's G2 bringing it to Cobble.
Bringing it to Cobble, and at this point you kind of have to look at G2 being in a very favorable position considering their Cobble past. Oh well, mousesports, they have to be bit upset with themselves considering the chances they had to close this out. G2 making so many errors to start things off, especially in regulation there on the T side. They gave every opportunity possible really for mousesports to win this and take it to a 2-0, but managed to fight back. If you give them enough chances, they will eventually bite. So Cobble it is.
Yeah, crazy to see G2 pull that comeback, but very impressed nonetheless. I feel like mousesports are already going to struggle when it comes to this third map, as we've established. Of course, this is a far better map for G2 than it is for mousesports, who've lost it every time they played at this event. So, yeah, I'm confident G2 can now take this. Obviously, I originally went with a mousesports 2-0, but now with this,
we're pretty close to it.
Yeah,
I'll admit.
I'll be happy with the fact that they at least got to match point. Rops after that 4K pissed around as well. We had a lot of highlights this map.
Yeah, no, it was a very, very good map. Like for all the Counter-Strike full of mistakes makes for exciting games. If you play the 100% perfect the entire time, it's not going to be very exciting because one team's going to dominate the other. But yeah, absolutely action-packed game for sure. And here we see the double, the first of two that Chris J had, and you kind of felt like when those things kind of happen for you, this is the ridiculous 1-on-4. And it was because of things like this. It felt like no matter what G2 were doing, mousesports would eventually win out.
Yeah, and, I agree with that.
And somehow, I at this point, I would have expected G2 to just have been completely shook, down on their life. As you mentioned, they are emotional players. So you would kind of fault them for being down on themselves, but they managed to claw their way back into this.
And Chris J, a player who had a great map as well, even though they lost it. You know, obviously he said in his interview yesterday, as we talked about, you know, he said, I don't know how we beat SK with me playing so bad. He got like 10 kills on each map there, but no, he had a great performance in this one. Sadly, it won't be enough for the win, but there is still a third opportunity, of course, as we've said, Cobblestone. And even with G2 coming into that map as favourites, mousesports have been surprising so far with a 16-2 on the first map, and with a close game on the second, they're not out of this.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, we did paint the picture that we expected mousesports to pick up Cobble, we expected G2 to pick up Inferno, but mousesports with, you know, putting it or giving it to G2 in this big of a fashion, right? There's no saying that they're going to be completely out of their depths going into Cobble either, even though, you know, the history would tell you that G2 has a bit of a upper hand. This is definitely this game just kind of lives in its own world in that sense.
I mean, this is great, though, because we just have two teams that are crazy firepower teams with, you know, insane individual talents on pretty much every player in the server. So lots of highlights as you would expect. A very tense game. Apex giving Body a nice good old rub there.
Yeah, and Body really got into things. He had a much better game now than what he did on Cash. So that's good to see. That's going to give him some confidence moving into Cobble as well. And he's going to play a vital part on that TT side as well.
Yeah, very good. But Cobblestone being the last map, that will be up next. Again, we are going to the full distance here, and maybe we'll see overtime again. We'll be right back after this break with the final map of this best of 3.
Lootbet, online esports betting. Dota, CSGO, Overwatch, Hearthstone, and many more. Bet on tournament matches or in-game events while viewing them live. Deposit using money, bitcoins, or even skins. Join Lootbet now. Use the code you see here when you deposit and grab your bonus.
Don't know how to build a team from scratch or find good teammates? Dreamteam.gg, the ultimate team building platform. Find and connect with new players, coaches and teams. Manage and monetize your team. Get on fast track to advance from novice to amateur and, if desired, to professional gamer. Join Dreamteam.gg today.
Still always a monster, Tom!